Hello guys, we've driven up from the Attain region. I'm with a buddy, Justin. We're going to head over to the Fukugawa Falls, and just do some slow shutter photography. Try and get some nice flowing liquid and play around with the waterfalls. So let's take a trek up the river. So just a little walk down the path. Next to the car park, there is a car park side of the road. There's a little path off to that goes down. You've got to step over a fence to get there, but it's quite overgrown. And we're in the middle of the Habu mating season, and a Habu, if we see one today, I'll be sure to point it out. But it is a pit viper, a snake, and there are 3 species here in Okinawa that are not too good for you. One in particular which is quite bad, but you get a lot of these mayflies hanging around as well, which is pretty cool. That's pretty wild, eh? Awesome. So the idea of today is we're going to head further up the river, but the idea is to find nice little creeks, nice little beaches like this. And then we're just going to go through slow shutter, long exposure photography, just to get that nice flowing satin look on moving water. Good time. Well, that was the first pool. That's the pool that most people go to. Apparently there's a second waterfall. Not many people go to it. Not many pictures exist of it for some reason. So we're going to go and try and find it. So I think it's this way. Right, we're at the top of this, we've walked up to the top of that waterfall that we were at just now, and we want to go along the river a bit more because there's another waterfall apparently. It's one that isn't really photographed that much because it is a bit into the forest, but I've stopped because we've got this awesome water feature.
Okay, and I'm using a circular polarizer just simply to remove the immediate glare and shine from the wet rocks caused by the splashing water. Just simply place your filter on, rotate it until you find the polarization point that has the least reflection, and you're good to go.
I'm shooting on a Canon 5 DSR. Lens wise I'm using a Tokina 17 to 35. It's the only wide lens I brought with me, sadly, but I'm going to be using a 6-stop filter, an ND64, in conjunction with a circular polarizer. So let's get set up. There's a lot of areas here with very strong highlights in them from the sun that's dabbing through the foliage, and I don't want to have too many hot spots in the shot. So let's get this camera level and then off we go. Okay, so once we're set up, I've got an ND64 on the camera, and what I've ended up with is a shutter of 2.5 seconds. Okay, I'm on daylight white balance, f4, ISO 400, and we're getting a beautiful image. So we're going to crack on, see if we can find this other waterfall. and we'll be doing a few more exercises there. Cool. Okay, so we're just walking up the river. We found this awesome little point where lots of these rivers and waterfalls converge, you can see here. So I'm going to get set up, and then I'm going to quickly go through the technique that I use to find the correct exposure when using a 6-stop ND filter. Okay? Okay, well I'm set up and I'm good to go, and find my aperture, I've gone into aperture priority. I'm on f4, ISO 200, and what I need to do is find out what aperture that would normally give me. That would give me these settings with these available light, a 15th of a second. Now I'm going to use a smart app on my iPhone to figure out my exposure using a 6-stop ND 64.
I'm using an app by a company called Lee Filters. They actually make ND filters themselves. The app itself consists of 2 dials, one white on the left and one green. There are 3 defaults for 6-stop, 10-stop and 15-stop filters. In this case I'm using the 6-stop filter, which is illuminated in the left, and quite simply I match up my shutter speed to the corresponding shutter speed where the 2 dials meet.
Okay, and it's telling me that at 1/15th of a second, using a 6-stop filter, my ideal shutter speed is going to be 4 seconds. Awesome technology. So I'm going to now set it up on my camera, take the shot, and we should be good to go.